Welcome back to ASX Market Watch and charting signals around the world. This is where we look at the entire world economy from a chartist's point of view, looking at where the charts are heading because we believe that 3 out of 4 stocks might follow the overall indices. And if we know which way the indices are heading, then we know which way 3 out of 4 stocks might be heading. Awesome stuff! And absolutely loving it over the last couple of weeks. Have nailed a heck of a lot of calls. Got the markets absolutely spot on, which is just beautiful. Guys, I'm not going to go back over that stuff, but let's just jump straight into it so we can show you where the world is heading from a chartist's point of view. And again, a great way to supplement your own trading, whether you're using broker reports, fundamentals, or charts in your own trading. This is a great way to supplement your own trading methodology as well. Fantastic stuff. All right, let's jump straight into it. All Ords down under, All Ordinaries down under. About a month and a half, about 2 months ago, we called downtrend right here. And since then, the market has absolutely continued down. Really, guys, there's not much to say on the All Ordinaries. The next major level of support, apart from where we are at the moment, which is it's really flirting with, it's looking weak enough, like it may not hold this level at 4,500, 4,600 approximately. The next major level of support is 4,200 on the All Ordinaries, okay? And yeah, we may have little squiggles in between, but yeah, this kind of selling, this lower peaks and lower troughs, it's systematic, guys. It's not panic selling. This is literally big corporations dumping their stock, okay? At least that's basically how it appears in the charts, is this lower peaks, lower troughs, very orderly, very systematic. It's not people getting scared in any way, shape or form. It's people doing something in an orderly fashion and they're selling, basically. So yeah, guys, just to be mindful of that. If you want to look for a place where a reversal might happen, 4,700 would be the place to be. We'd want the price to go back above that level there. If you see that, very, very simple stuff. That's what we'd be looking for an upward reversal. And we'll check that out around the world. Basically, Asia is starting to reverse, just as a side note as well, starting to head upwards. But that's the All Ordinaries. In the meantime, the trend remains down. The next one is the Dow Jones. And yeah, again, a couple of weeks ago, we called a short-term downtrend right here. Beautiful stuff. Absolutely love that. And since then, yes, the market has indeed continued down. The market did get a little bit excited right about here. You know, I don't know, whatever news came out, but, you know, people started to buy again. People started to get a little bit snap happy, but what happens? The downtrend continues. Yes, indeed. You can't fight the charts. Basically, when they give you a signal, it's very prudent to follow that signal. And again, that's basically where we got that previous signal right there. Again, for a reversal on the Dow Jones, we'd really want price to close above that level there, above that trend line, because that trend line will provide resistance for people in the future. So around 12,250, big resistance point on the Dow Jones based on that methodology of trend lines. If it closes above 12,400, then we have a potential new uptrend. And that would be up around that level there. Okay, so yeah, pretty simple stuff. Really, really simple stuff, actually. Ridiculously simple stuff. It's just a line on a chart. But yet, extremely powerful, as I definitely know you can appreciate. Because, well, let's check out the FTSE in Europe. We've got really quickly this downtrend. We had a downtrend called right here. You know, we've got a few lower peaks and lower troughs, but didn't... Oh, was it there or was it... Yeah, it was around about... No, it was around about 5,800 was the solid signal. But still, we've got all this support here. As you can see, we've got long tails. What long tails tend to indicate is buyers coming into the market because the price is pushed back up during the day. And as you can see, the exact same thing is happening right here. If I just enlarge this a little bit, we've got long tail, long tail, long tail. So buyers have come back in and pushed the market back up. However, on Friday, what we've got is a long tail to the opposite side. As you can see, the sellers have pushed the market back down. So this is something to be very wary of. The downtrend still remains. Support still remains at 5,600. So very strong support on the FTSE. Guys, as a side note, if that breaks, expect a big trouble in the FTSE in Europe, basically. So yeah, but in the meantime, it's still in a downtrend. If you wanted it to like an uptrend signal, you'd be looking at a close above 5,900 at this stage, guys, above that trend line here. So yeah, very simple stuff. Now let's get to the good stuff, because what is happening around the world is that Asia is starting to turn. Now what I mean by that is, let's have a quick look at Asia. In Asia, the Shanghai Composite in China, we called a new uptrend there, we called a new downtrend there, we called downtrend there, downtrend here. So what's happening at the moment? Now all of those little calls came true, which has been absolutely fantastic. Now what we're getting at this stage is an early indication of an upward trend. Why do I say that? Simply because what we've got is the market has closed above our downtrend line here. Now what we really want for a solid signal to emerge is for a little zigzag pattern up like that. Okay, so yeah, that would basically indicate, if we get a higher trough and then price to head upwards from there, that would indicate that buyers would be supporting this move. At this stage, it's just a little reaction. It's just a reaction off the bottom. It happens all the time in downward markets. If you want a more solid signal, like some people do buy in these reactions, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, you'd still, like, if you wanted a more solid signal, you'd be looking at a higher trough and a higher peak. That would give us a reason to believe that buyers were supporting that move. So that's what you can expect on the Shanghai Composite. So early warning of a new trend, basically, which is always good. I love that. It makes my job more interesting as well. So that's great. Same thing on the Hong Kong, on the Hang Seng in Hong Kong. What we've got is this downtrend, and as you can see, we've got sideways movement over the last year, basically over the last year. Now in Hong Kong, we do have this, it's crossed above the downtrend line. So again, early indication of a trend change. If we wanted a stronger move, we would expect a higher trough and a higher peak, and for price to sort of head that way, just exactly in that sort of formation. That would indicate that buyers would be supporting the move by giving us a higher trough there. And I hope that makes sense, guys. It's very simple stuff. It does not have to be complicated in any way, shape, or form. Now that's Hong Kong in Hang Seng in Hong Kong, and we've got next is the Nikkei in Japan. Now exactly the same thing on the Nikkei. For the last couple of weeks we've been saying, we sort of called a little downtrend here. Now the market has just continued down and sideways, so yeah, didn't really eventuate in a solid downtrend. What it has happened is it's now sort of looking like a bit of a continuation pattern. What that means is, like, this little area here seems to be like a sideways consolidation movement, and it's now broken out of that movement. So there's a few ways you could take this, guys, and it's a bit dangerous on the Nikkei at the moment, just because we've got a lot of resistance at 10,000. So yes, you will find a lot of resistance at that round number there. What we have, however, is price has just broken out to the upside of this pattern, and again, like the rest of Asia, we've got it's a trend change, but it hasn't been supported by the buyers just yet. Again, what would be expecting would be a little higher trough and a higher peak, so a little zigzag pattern up. That would indicate to us that buyers were supporting the move. So yes, definitely an early indication. Some people would get in at this point. Other people would wait for a more solid indication, and that would be that higher trough, higher peak, basically on the Nikkei. So yes, exciting times, possibly a trend change, and that is, again, happy days. If that does eventuate, that would be fantastic. Now, last but not least, guys, is the BSE 30 in India, and I'll just get rid of this uptrend line here. Yeah, again, on the BSE 30, we called a little uptrend here. We got resistance here, which was met beautifully. That was basically this downtrend line. The resistance from the downtrend line did come to fruition, as it often does, and so that was perfect. And now we've got this, we call this bit of a downtrend, and that's eventuated as well. It seems to be more of a sideways movement on the BSE 30. However, like the rest of the region, we're starting to get this trend change, like an early indication of a trend change. And so yes, it has closed above the trend, but again, like the rest of the world, we'd really want price to make a little zigzag pattern up before we gave like a solid solid signal or a solid call based on this price movement. Because just as a warning and a side note, you will find in a downward market you'll get reactions like this all the time. But if we want it to be supported by the buyers before we sort of jump in. At least that's the way that I operate, and as I said, other people will do it differently, and I definitely respect that. But that, my friends, is the BSE 30, and also that's the world from a chartist point of view. So happy days. Thanks very much for joining me. I gotta say, it's been really great to have you, and I love checking out the markets with you every week. It's just a great way to spend a couple of minutes on your weekend to determine which way the world is heading, and when we know which way the world is heading, it can really help our trading and investing. So guys, I'll see you next week. Happy trending until then. Bye for now.